Fame has a way of blinding us to the truth. On screens and red carpets, celebrities look untouchable, forever smiling, forever winning, but behind the glamour, some are quietly fighting battles most people never hear about. Illness, decline, and the slow approach of mortality are realities even stardom can't outrun. So why are these stories kept out of the spotlight, and who is facing the most serious struggles right now? In this video, we pull back the curtain on famous people who are dying, and you didn't know. Number 1. Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong, comedian, actor, musician, and outspoken activist, has long been a larger-than-life figure in pop culture. Best known for the iconic Cheech and Chong films, he built a career on fearless humor and an unmistakable style. Off-screen, that same boldness defined how he faced one of the toughest battles of his life, prostate cancer. True to who he is, Chong chose to confront the disease publicly and on his own terms. In 2016, Chong revealed that he had actually been diagnosed back in 2008. At first, doctors weren't overly concerned. The cancer was slow-growing and didn't pose an immediate danger. For a time, it seemed manageable. But as the disease progressed, the situation became more serious, forcing Chong to make difficult decisions about his treatment. What surprised many was the path he chose. In interviews, Chong openly shared that he was treating his prostate cancer using marijuana suppositories, an approach that drew headlines and controversy. For Chong, cannabis was more than medicine. It represented personal freedom and control over his own body. Even in the face of illness, he continued to work, perform, and make people laugh, refusing to let cancer define him. Today, Chong remains a symbol of resilience, living fully, speaking openly, and standing by his beliefs, even in the most challenging moments. Number 2. Linda Ronstadt. She is one of the best-selling female rock artists of all time, and very few musicians have ever reached her level of influence. With an extraordinary collection of Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, and countless other honors, Linda Ronstadt carved her place in music history as a true trailblazer. For decades, her voice, powerful, emotional, and unmistakably soulful, defined entire eras. Whether she was singing rock, pop, country, or traditional ballads, it was her voice that set her apart. Then, in 2013, her life changed in a deeply personal way. Parkinson's disease, often misunderstood as something that only affects the very old, entered her world without warning. At first, the signs were subtle, slight hand tremors, small changes in her voice. Over time, those symptoms worsened, and when she finally sought answers, she was confronted with the reality of a progressive illness that would slowly take away her motor control. For Ronstadt, the diagnosis meant the end of her singing career. The inability to control her vocal cords forced her to step away from the stage forever. After nearly 50 years of performing and more than 100 million records sold worldwide, losing the ability to sing was devastating. Yet anyone familiar with her music knows that courage and resilience were always at the heart of her artistry. Rather than retreat into silence, Linda Ronstadt chose purpose. She became an advocate, raising awareness about Parkinson's disease and lending her voice, this time not in song, but in strength, to campaigns like the War Against Parkinson's Disease. Now nearing 80, she is still admired for her grace, dignity, and lasting impact. A legend not only for her music, but for the way she continues to face life with honesty and quiet power. Number 3. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond was a childhood favorite for an entire generation. He burst onto television screens in the late 1980s as Screech Powers on Saved by the Bell, becoming one of the most recognizable faces of teen TV. Like many child stars, though, his fame didn't last forever. As the spotlight faded, Diamond struggled to move beyond the character that defined him, living on largely in the memories of fans who had grown up watching him. His life after early stardom was turbulent and often public. He appeared in various films and television projects, but controversy followed him as well. From his tell-all memoir Behind the Bell, which described painful experiences on set, to legal troubles involving drug charges and misdemeanors, Diamond's adult years were marked by conflict and instability. It was a far cry from the carefree image audiences once associated with him. Then came news no one expected. In early 2021, Diamond began experiencing a lump in his throat that grew increasingly concerning. When he finally sought medical help, the diagnosis was devastating. He was suffering from small cell carcinoma, an aggressive and advanced form of cancer. At just 44 years old, his fight was heartbreakingly brief. After only 3 weeks in treatment, Dustin Diamond passed away on February 1st, 2021. Many fans were stunned to learn how quickly his illness had progressed, unaware that their childhood icon had been quietly battling for his life. His death served as a sobering reminder of how fragile life can be, even for those who once seemed larger than life. Number 4. Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John was a singer, actress, and cultural icon whose grace and talent endured across decades. She rose to fame in the early 1970s as a recording artist and quickly became a screen favorite soon after, capturing audiences with her warmth and charisma. From her unforgettable role in Grease to chart-topping hits like Physical and Magic, her success seemed effortless. But Olivia's strength extended far beyond music and film. She was just as courageous in her personal life as she was on stage. Her story became one of resilience and quiet determination. In 1992, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, beginning a battle that would follow her for the rest of her life. She faced the disease not once, but 3 separate times. Rather than retreating into privacy, Olivia chose to speak openly about her journey, using her platform to support others. She founded and supported initiatives such as the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund, helping raise awareness, fund research, and offer comfort to those facing similar struggles. Through her advocacy, countless people found hope and reassurance. Olivia often said that even while living with cancer, she didn't feel like she was dying. She felt purposeful, creative, and deeply connected to life. Still, on August 8, 2022, the world lost her, nearly 30 years after her first diagnosis, and not long after she had shared that her condition was stable. Remembered for her timeless music, her iconic film roles, and her unwavering compassion, Olivia Newton-John left behind more than a legacy of fame. Number 5. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, born in December 1959, was a remarkably versatile actor whose career spanned some of the most iconic films of his generation. He first broke through with the sharp comedy Top Secret, then became a global star as the cocky aviator in Top Gun. From there, he transformed himself again and again, embodying Jim Morrison with haunting intensity in The Doors, and later bringing a darker, more introspective edge to Batman Forever. Yet behind the confidence and charisma that audiences loved, Kilmer was quietly fighting a devastating personal battle. In 2015, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, a disease that threatened not only his life, but the very instrument that had defined so much of his presence, his voice. What began as an effort to save it ended in profound loss. Medical procedures damaged his vocal cords, leaving him largely unable to speak. He endured chemotherapy and underwent 2 tracheostomies, facing years of physical pain and profound adjustment away from the spotlight he once commanded with ease. Even so, Kilmer never lost his creative spirit. Like many of the fighters and outsiders he portrayed on screen, he refused to let illness define him. He remained active in artistic projects, explored new forms of expression, and shared his journey with honesty and humor in his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry. Though his voice was altered, His perspective, wit, and inner fire remained unmistakably his. Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, 2025, at the age of 65. His death marked the end of a life shaped by talent, reinvention, and resilience. Number 6. Alex Trebek. It's hard to imagine Jeopardy without thinking of Alex Trebek. For more than 3 decades, he was the steady, reassuring presence behind the podium, hosting the show for 37 seasons and an astonishing 8,200 episodes, a run so extraordinary it earned him a Guinness World Record. Trebek didn't just host the show. He became part of millions of households, shaping generations of viewers with his calm authority, warmth, and wit. That remarkable legacy was shaken in 2019, when Trebek revealed that he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the age of 79. Faced with a disease known for its low survival rates, he chose honesty over silence and determination over fear. By speaking openly about his diagnosis and treatment, he brought much-needed attention to a cancer that is often detected too late, while inspiring fans around the world with his resilience. The outpouring of support that followed was immense. Viewers, contestants, and colleagues rallied around him, offering encouragement as he continued hosting for as long as his health allowed. His memoir gave fans an even deeper look into his life, his values, and the quiet strength that defined him both on and off camera. Alex Trebek passed away on November 8, 2020, at the age of 80, a little over a year after his diagnosis. Though his life ended, his influence did not. His legacy lives on not only through Jeopardy, but through the grace, dignity, and courage he showed in his final chapter. Qualities that endeared him to fans even more deeply and ensured he would never be forgotten. Number 7. Michael J. Fox. Remember the sharp-witted kid cruising around in a flying DeLorean in Back to the Future, or the lovable son on Family Ties? Michael J. Fox's rise to fame began early, capturing hearts as Alex P. Keaton on the hit 1970s sitcom Family Ties. His turn as Marty McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy cemented his place in pop culture history, and over the years he built an impressive list of unforgettable roles that left a lasting mark on film and television. What many fans didn't know for years, however, was that Fox was facing a serious health battle behind the scenes. In 1991, at just 29 years old, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Instead of going public, he chose to fight the condition privately, keeping the diagnosis secret for nearly 7 years before finally revealing it in 1998. During that time, he continued working while quietly coming to terms with a life-changing illness. When he did speak openly, Fox reflected on his younger, hard-living years, once wondering if they might have played a role in his diagnosis. But true to the resilience he's known for, both on screen and off, he refused to let the disease define him. Even after going public, he kept acting, taking on a wide range of roles across television and film, many of which earned critical praise and major awards. As the disease progressed, there were moments when continuing became incredibly difficult, but Fox's determination never faded. Beyond his career, he found a greater purpose in advocacy. In 2000, he founded the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which has since become one of the world's leading organizations, funding Parkinson's research and supporting those living with the condition. Michael J. Fox's legacy isn't just built on iconic performances and sharp humor. It's also defined by courage, optimism, and his commitment to helping others. Number 8. Sam Neill. International leading man and blockbuster favorite Sam Neill is another well-known figure who has quietly faced a serious health battle. Best known for Jurassic Park, Peaky Blinders, and films like Hunt for the Wilder People, Neill has built a long, respected career defined by range, warmth, and quiet charisma. To longtime fans, though, he's more than his roles. He's simply Sam, a deeply human presence both on and off screen. In 2022, Neil revealed that he had been diagnosed with angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma, a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer. The road that followed was grueling, involving multiple rounds of chemotherapy and experimental treatments when initial options failed. It was a fight that tested both his body and spirit. True to his nature, Neil chose honesty over silence. In March 2023, he shared hopeful news. He was in remission and continuing treatment while gradually returning to work. Today, he remains open about his journey, determined to live fully and encourage others facing similar battles. Number 9. Neil Diamond. Almost everyone knows Sweet Caroline, a song so timeless it's nearly impossible to avoid. But while it may be Neil Diamond's most recognizable hit, it's only a small part of a remarkable career built on heart, grit, and relentless creativity. Born to poor immigrant parents from Poland and Russia, Diamond's beginnings were modest. Everything changed when he received his first guitar at 16 and discovered a lifelong devotion to music. From there, Diamond poured himself into songwriting, slowly carving out a place as one of the most respected voices in popular music. His catalog grew into one of the most impressive in modern history, and his reputation as a tireless performer and survivor only strengthened with time. True to his name, he proved incredibly hard to break. In 2018, Diamond revealed that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a condition that brought tremors, stiffness, and balance issues, and ultimately forced him to retire from touring during his 50th anniversary tour. Though the decision was painful, he later admitted it took years to fully accept the diagnosis. Since stepping back from the spotlight, Diamond has chosen a quieter life, surrounded by loved ones and lifelong fans who continue to celebrate his legacy. Now 85 in 2026, he still checks in from time to time, reassuring the world that he's doing well and facing his illness with courage. Number 10. Selma Blair. Known for standout roles in films like Cruel Intentions, Legally Blonde, and Hellboy, Selma Blair is now just as recognized for her strength off-screen as her talent on it. In 2018, she revealed that she had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, turning a deeply personal battle into a mission to raise awareness for others facing the disease. For years, early symptoms were overlooked and misdiagnosed, allowing the condition to progress before doctors finally identified it. The diagnosis forced Blair to step back from acting and focus on her health, a difficult pause in a career that helped define early 2000s cinema. Now, in 2026, Selma Blair continues to reclaim her life. While MS still brings daily challenges, she remains determined, resilient, and deeply committed to returning to acting. From Alex Trebek's heartbreaking battle with cancer to Kathy Bates's ongoing journey, these celebrities have shown remarkable strength away from the spotlight. Which of their stories resonates with you the most? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.